Hello everyone, welcome to Peaceful Living NH. If you are new here, my name is Chantel and today we are going to be working on an exciting project. I'm going to be planting a couple rows of zinnias on this side of me over here along this whole line right here and also on this side. So when you do come in, you'll see a couple rows of zinnias right here and a couple rows of zinnias right here. I might plant 3 if I'm able to, 3 rows. I already have right here some soil that I'm going to be spreading right here to create a bed for the seeds to be planted in, because right now I just have some wood chips right here all over this area, and the same over here. I put 1 bag of soil here and another right there, and I'm going to be spreading it along this row. I will be leaving an opening right here so that we can have a pathway to this area right here, which I will be putting a bird bath bowl right here for the bees, and I'm going to be putting some rocks on it. This statue right here actually was given to us by our neighbors because it belonged to our neighbor's mom, and she didn't want to throw it away, and I happily took it. It's beautiful. Unfortunately, there are some cracks on the bottom. I think that's because I left it out here in the winter. I should have stored it away, and it also fell a few times. For the bees, I'm going to be putting some gravel in the bowl, and that's going to stop them from drowning in the water, because they can drown in the water. And I also have here a couple Stevens cranberries, so I have 1 right here and 1 on that side over there, and these grow about 2 to 3 feet tall and wide, so they'll form a cute ball shape right here. They'll just kind of spread on the ground. And if I planted them in the wrong place and I want to plant something else in their space, I will be moving them probably and putting them maybe a little bit closer to this side, so they'll be closer to the entrance. But for now, that's where they're going to stay, because I do already have drip installed in here. So I have this emitter right here, so on each side where these cranberries are sitting, there are emitters. And I wanted to plant a couple hollies, I think, in this area actually, but right now I have the cranberries, so the cranberries are going to be planted here. I did design this area a while ago, like a couple years ago, or last year I think, or 2 years ago, I'm not sure. And I totally forgot how I designed it, because my design was made with little pieces of paper that I kind of cut out of the plants that I want, and I put them on the paper. I did not glue anything. And then my little one came and just took the paper and everything fell out, and I didn't have the time to redesign it again. But I will be doing that in the future. And these plants, it's okay, they can be moved. It's not going to harm them. But right now, while there is drip there, I will be putting them there because I need them to be watered. It's easier to care for your plants if you already have drip installed, because it's going to make your life so much easier. I have tons of plants over here that are going to be planted, and the vegetable garden over there. I have flower beds everywhere, so I can't be watering everything by hand. By having a drip system, you really give yourself the ability to do a lot of gardening, a lot of planting, without having to be slave to your garden. And I have a couple videos, I think, on installing drip. I have a video on installing the drip irrigation over there for the vegetable garden, and I believe I did a video, oh, there's something that's stinging me. I believe I did a video for this garden as well. And everything that I have planted over here, I have drip on, and as I plant more things, I add more drip. I don't want to set up the drip completely because I don't know exactly where everything is going to go. I have a general idea of how I want this area to look, and right now the zinnias are sort of a placeholder for the plants that will be coming in the future. I want here something that's going to actually be more on the low growing side where the zinnias are going to be planted. But for now, while I don't have the actual plants, the zinnias can sit here and hold the place for the other plants that I will be planting. They are going to be taller than those plants, but they'll make this area look beautiful. They'll take some space out of this open bare soil. It's not bare, it has mulch on it, but the weeds can seed themselves here. I have tons of weeds everywhere right now, and I'm just going and shuffling my feet over the area so that I kind of scrape the weeds out, and that's just the easiest way to handle these weeds while they're still in their infancy stage. So if you want to design an area and you don't want to spend tons of money right away, you can get the plants slowly. If you don't want to start them from seeds, you can get them slowly over time, but by planting something in their place, an annual that you can plant from seed, that's going to kind of give you an idea of how that space is going to look like in the future. When you do plant something in there, you can pick plants that will look similar to the plant that you want to plant, the perennial plant that you want to plant. You can pick annual plants that will look similar to the perennial plants that you want to plant in that space, and that will give you a general idea of what it's going to look like. And you can choose the colors that are similar to it, you can choose the foliage that are similar to it, and the height that's similar to that. The zinnias are not exactly the same height or the same color, but I do need them right here because I'm going to be using them for a project, and I thought they would look nice right here. And there is some maintenance that has to happen over here, like the weeds, for example, and I do have to fertilize my perennials as well and my shrubs. So this area is going to be an edible and a beautiful pollinator area, because we do have bees right here. If I turn the camera a little bit, you'll see the bees right next to me, right here. And I'm standing pretty close to them, and you know, they whiz over my head every now and then, but they're not bothering me at all. And it's a beautiful, nice weather, and you know, they go about on their day, and I'm here right next to them planting, and they're not a bother at all. So you can have bees in your garden, and you can have flowers, and you can live together with the bees, not in the house, but outside. And so they can pollinate your garden, and they can also give you honey and wax, which is a beautiful thing that bees provide. And they can, you know, help pollinate everywhere, not just your garden, but they can go, I believe, about, I might be mistaken, it's either 2 or 5 miles. I think it's 5 miles away from their vicinity. So they're pollinating all the 5 miles around us. And just to give you a quick update on the asparagus, if you've been here before, I have planted a row of asparagus from seeds, and I did a video on planting it from seeds as well. And I planted it in here after it grew about this much, and right now, look at it, this is its 2nd year, and I haven't even fertilized it this season yet. And look at these stalks, they are absolutely amazing. I did come here and harvest one stalk. There are conflicting I know everyone says to not harvest off of them, but I did read up a little bit on asparagus before I actually started this project, and I came across this farmer that has been growing asparagus for years. It's a commercial farmer that grows asparagus with probably hundreds of acres, and they sell them everywhere. And he was talking about, one of the things he talked about is whether you should harvest off of your asparagus the 2nd season or not. And he was talking about, and he mentioned that some people say that you shouldn't, and some people say that you should, because that when you do harvest, it's going to cause the root to actually produce more shoots, and that's going to allow the plant to photosynthesize more, because the more shoots, the more leaves, the more photosynthesis this plant is going to be able to acquire and or do, and it's going to send all these starches into the roots and grow its roots. So you don't want to harvest a lot, of course. I did only harvest 1 shoot off of each asparagus. There was one asparagus that I wasn't able to harvest off of, but by doing that, I'm hoping that that is going to allow the shoots to allow the roots to grow even bigger, and it's going to allow it to put out some more shoots. And I'm noticing actually it's still sending out shoots right now. Last year it only had a few, maybe like 4 shoots on the asparagus plant, because it was its 1st year from seed. And this year they're looking really good. So I'm going to be also fertilizing them. I have some plant tone, and I have 1 blueberry right here and another blueberry over there that also need to be fertilized. So I brought some hollytone because these blueberries love acidic soil, and the hollytone already has the sulfur in it to acidify the soil. I did fertilize them late winter, and I'm going to be fertilizing them again right now because they do look like they need a little more love. And the leaves are better than last year because our soil is about 6.8 pH, and blueberries like a pH between 4 and 6, and my goal is to get it to 5. I will be testing the pH of the soil mid-summer to see where that pH is, and I probably will have to amend it with an acidic fertilizer every season because our soil is naturally more on the neutral side. So both blueberries are going to be getting some holly tone. Another thing I will be doing is also fertilizing these perennials right here. I should have fertilized them earlier in the season. This is a rhubarb that I got from the garden center next to us, and I have another one over here that was really struggling last year, and I thought it was dead because I didn't see any growth on it. There was only like a tiny bit, and I thought maybe this plant will make it next year, maybe not. But you can see it started putting on some growth, so I will be giving it some fertilizer. I also have drip on them already connected. As I said, everything here is connected on drip, and I think the reason why this happened to it is it dried out. It was sitting in its pot and it dried out several times, and I also when I put the pots over here, I should have put them on the deck close to me so that I can continue to water them, but I would ask one of my kids to come and water them, and I think that they weren't giving it enough water, and that is what caused it to kind of struggle. I think it just dried up a lot. And the other one is the one that would get watered first, and then this one would get watered second. I noticed that they weren't getting enough water too late into the season, I think, before I planted them, and so I started watering them myself, but I think it was a little bit too late and the damage was done to this rhubarb. But it's bouncing back. It's going to take it another season, and then next season it should look the same as this one right here, which is looking amazing. So I probably can harvest off of it this year, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to let it grow this year and do its thing. Before we start, I'm going to show you just a little bit of the things that I also have to get this project ready, the zinnia project. So I have these drip tubes right here. They're 100 foot, and they are a 1/4 inch drip line, and I believe they have drip every 6 inches, which is perfect because I'm going to be planting the zinnia seeds 6 inches apart from each other so that they can look full in here. And I also have here some fittings if I need something, and I'm going to be connecting this poly tubing right here to this side because I need it to stretch over that way over there so that I can connect drip this way over here, and so I'll be connecting drip on each side. So this line is going to be connected from this side going down, and I'll probably connect it into more sides right here. So I'll tee off of this again and connect it over there, and then this side over here is going to be connected from that drip over there, and it's going to be going all the way to here. So I will be leaving a small space to walk in, so probably about maybe 2 feet, I think, right here, so that you can walk up to this bird bath right here so that I can make sure it's clean. I'll also connect the bird bath on drip so that it will be able to clean itself. I should probably get the bird bath today and set it up with you guys so that you can just kind of see the full picture of what I'm talking about. I ended up bringing a little bit more soil so that I can fit another row of zinnia over here. So now I can fit 3 rows in here, same over here, and on the other side, hopefully. I think the other side is a little bit more narrow, but I think I can make it. Yeah, it should be okay. Now I'm going to take my Biotone starter fertilizer. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit over here on these patches of soil, and then we are going to be installing drip. So the hard part is over. All the irrigation is in. I have 3 rows of drip in each of these rows. Same over here as well. And you can see here I created about maybe like a 3-foot pathway in here, and the zinnias are going to grow a little bit this way, so it's going to be more like a 2-foot pathway in here. And this one is probably going to end up about a 1-foot pathway, because also the zinnias are going to grow a little bit into the pathway. And I can also keep them pruned a little bit in here. And I think it's going to frame this area very beautifully. Now this one right there, the entrance is off center of this one. I wish I was able to have them both on center, but I really want this bird bath over here in this end, because I think it just looks more beautiful on this side over here. And one day I'd like to have a bench maybe over there in the corner, or over here on this side next to the rhubarb right there. I don't know, maybe it doesn't make sense to have a bench over here because of the bees, but I think it does. They don't bother us at all. I could also put it in this corner over here. So I have a hibiscus right here. I think this is the berry awesome hibiscus, and I have 2 of them. They're just starting to bud right now. You can see it's right there. And so now I can come and cut this growth off, because you don't want to cut the growth off of the hibiscus too early. If you live in a wet environment like we do, that can cause the hibiscus to rot, and then it will kill your plant. So you're better off just waiting a little bit and cutting it off than cutting it too early. And I do the same with a lot of my perennials. You probably have seen some of my perennials looking ugly in a lot of my videos because I haven't cut them back right now. And now is the time for me to cut them back, because I'm starting to see growth on them just a little bit, just enough for me to cut them. Sometimes if I cut them too early, I end up losing some of them. So that's why you just kind of want to keep in mind to not cut your perennials too early, so that they don't die if you end up having a hard frost or snow or hail or whatever it is that is going to kill them. We live in zone 5 over here, and our climate can be a little bit harsh sometimes on some of the plants, so we have to be careful. We have to treat them carefully and gently so that they can survive. And this bird bath over here, this actually comes with a stand, so I didn't want to get something that's super expensive that's going to fall and break, because this still needs leveling right here. I will be getting a piece of some sort of concrete stone or something like that to put this statue on, so that I can level it a little bit better so that it stops falling, because the soil here is very moist. We haven't had rain for about a week now. It kind of drizzles a little bit here and there, but it's not enough really to make an impact. And the soil over here in this area is still moist, and this area for me is pretty boggy in the spring, and this is why I have the hibiscus over here. I'm going to be planting a lot of plants that like the water. This is why I have the rhubarb, and I'm hoping that this blueberry over there in that section won't mind this. I think it should be okay. It seems to be doing okay. I have 2 different varieties of blueberries in this section. This is the Elliott blueberry right here, and look at it, it already has buds on it, and they're just about to open, so we're going to be having some blueberries this season. This one is a blue crop blueberry. This I might have gotten from a nursery, or I might have gotten it from Walmart. I'm not sure. I did not want all my blueberries to be the same varieties. I just want to have different varieties to kind of experience the different flavors. And I love having edibles in the garden with flowers. I think they both work really well together, and you get both benefits. You get the beauty and you get the edible part of that. So it's really nice to do that. And blueberries are actually a beautiful bush in my opinion. Look what happened. I really need to fill this with gravel so that this doesn't keep happening. It's pretty windy over here. And this, I didn't think I mentioned this about the asparagus. So the reason why I planted the asparagus over here is as screening for the bees, so that if we do end up putting a bench over here, the bees won't be flying right into our face, because the asparagus would have grown a little bit, and as it grows, it will screen the bees and stop them from flying right into our face. So the upcoming year, which is going to be the 3rd year of this asparagus, should be pretty good. They're going to be a lot taller and a lot bushier. And how about this bird bath over here? So I don't know if I mentioned, I did end up connecting a supply tubing over here into this poly tubing right here, and I have here a 1/4-inch tubing with 2 emitters in it, so I think that should be enough. And I'm going to be putting it in here and putting the gravel over it so that it keeps it in the bowl. And I need to come here and somehow tie this tubing around this statue without having it show on the other side, so it can kind of disappear in the back like this, and then it would go into the bird bath over here with having it sort of being obscure. So now that the hard part is over, I have the biotone in here, I have the drip irrigation in here, I can come and plant the zinnias. So let me go ahead and show you what varieties of zinnias I have. I have 2 packets of the Perennials giant mix. I'm going to have a lot of color in that, and that's going to allow me to use it for multiple uses. And I also have some MV zinnia and Queen Red Lime zinnia, and I also got the Coral Fountain Amaranth and some apricot asters and the lemonade cosmos. My thought is, if I don't have enough zinnia seeds to cover the entire area that I'm going to be planting, then I will plant also the cosmos and the asters and possibly the Coral Fountain Amaranth. So the asters grow 34 to 40 inches tall. That's about the same height as the zinnias, I think. So they should be okay planted together. The cosmos, the lemonade cosmos, this could grow a little bit taller also than the zinnias. So I will plant that in the back, and same with the Coral Fountain Amaranth, because that can grow up to 6 feet tall. So on this side over here, on the inside, I'll have the amaranth, and on the outside I'll have the zinnias, and same with that side over there. So let's go ahead and get planting. So I ended up planting the MV zinnias at the outside border of all of the rows, with exception for the row on that side over there. That one I did not have of the MV zinnia. So what I ended up doing is I ended up planting the Queen Lime zinnia to finish that row, and then I continued with more of the Queen Lime zinnia all along the second rows on the inside of these rows, and then the last row in, that one on this side where I'm standing over here, I planted it with the sky blue flax, and I don't know how long these take to start blooming. Hopefully soon. I do need these flowers for an upcoming project pretty soon, so hopefully they'll be okay, and hopefully this is a good cut flower. I don't have any experience with this flower, so I'm going to be doing some research to see how to prolong the vase life of this flower. And on the last line on that side, so on that side over there of the last inner line, I planted it with the cosmos, and on the opposite side over here, I planted it also with the blue flax. So I kind of wanted this whole look over here to look cohesive and to look kind of symmetrical and sort of to have the same colors going everywhere. So there won't be any blue over there. That's all right. I feel like this side over here at least has to match in order for it to look beautiful. And you could have all the colors and that would look beautiful too. But I do like the cool colors as well, and I kind of want those to be on this side over here to work with the blue of the rhubarb over there with that green kind of yellowish blue sort of. It has all the colors and the beautiful red stems, and so I think that's going to look very beautiful. So now I'm just going to hook up the irrigation to the water, and this is going to get watered. I'll be watering it every day for probably 10 minutes or so, just to make sure that those seeds are getting soaked and the soil beneath them. And also I do have some cardboard that still did not decompose, because I did lay out cardboard and mulch over this area to have it be this way. Otherwise it would just be a big grass weed land over here. This project took me a lot longer than I expected. The setting up of the irrigation took way longer than I thought it's going to take, and that requires some force. And also the planting took a lot longer than I expected, because you have to, you know, I was planting two seeds at a time. I did not broadcast, and I did end up planting 2 seeds at each of the emitter holes, just to make sure that they will be watered properly. Especially when they are in the seedling stage and in the seed stage, to make sure that they're going to sprout. And I also made sure to not have the line go all the way to the fence, because this is an electric fence over here, and I did that on all of the sides and over there as well. And same with the asparagus, because I don't want the zinnias to grow into the asparagus and hinder their growth. The drip is working. It's perfect. And this right now has gravel, and I set up the drip in here also. You can start seeing the water right here. It's going to fill up and it's going to spill a little bit over. And so when I turn the water on over here, it will clean this a little bit. And so I did make sure to have extra gravel in here. I might come back here and take some of the gravel out if I notice that it's too much. But everything is working and it's looking pretty good.